Think about your last paycheck. How many hours of your life did you trade for it? 40, 80, maybe an entire month. Now imagine something changes tomorrow. For the next 30 days, you stop working, no salary, no overtime, no freelance work, no extra shifts, no new paycheck. What in your life would still send money to you? Seriously, think about it. Because your salary might stop, but your mortgage won't, your rent won't, your car payment won't, your insurance won't, your phone won't. Your subscriptions definitely won't. That's the strange part. Almost everything most people own knows how to take money from them. Very few things know how to send money back. And once you notice that, money starts looking different. Because if every dollar entering your life requires another hour, another day, another month of your labor, then every month begins with exactly the same problem. You have to earn the money again. Now imagine your job pays you $5,000 a month, and the things you own produce another $20. $20 changes nothing. Then it becomes $80, then $300, then $900, then $2,000. Long before those assets replace your salary, something important has already happened. Your paycheck isn't carrying your financial life alone anymore. That's the real game. Not, how do I stop working next month? But how do I gradually own more things that can produce value without needing another hour of my life every single time? There are 8 assets that explain how this works, and pay particular attention to numbers 5, 7, and 8. Number 5 can begin without already being rich. Number 7 reveals why some people technically own a business, but the business actually owns them. And number 8 is the idea hiding underneath almost everything wealthy people eventually build. But first, the first asset might already be sitting in your bank account. The problem is, you may never have given it a job. Number 1, money that gets paid while it waits. Imagine you have $15,000 sitting in cash. Maybe it's emergency money. Maybe you're saving for something. Maybe you simply haven't decided what to do with it yet. Fair enough. But here's the question. If that money is going to sit there for 6 months, why should it automatically earn nothing? Depending on your situation, interest-bearing savings accounts, money market options, or short-term government securities may allow appropriate cash to earn something while remaining relatively accessible. Now, this won't make you rich. That's not the point. The point is learning to stop seeing money as one giant pile. Some dollars protect you. Some pay bills. Some get invested. Some wait. But every dollar should know why it's there. Maybe waiting money earns only a few $100s. Fine. The amount isn't the lesson. The lesson is that even money doing almost nothing can still have a job. And the next asset gives your money a much bigger one. It turns your money from a customer into an owner. Number 2, owning businesses instead of only buying from them. Think about last week. You bought groceries, used your phone, paid for internet, watched a streaming service, ordered something online, maybe stopped for coffee. Money moved from you into businesses. Again and again and again. Most people spend their whole financial life standing on one side of that transaction. Customer, customer, customer. But there's another side. Owner. When you buy shares, you're buying a small ownership interest in a business. That changes the question. Instead of only asking, what can this company sell me? You can start asking, do I want to own productive businesses for the next 20 years? Imagine 2 people, each have $200. Person A spends it this weekend. Person B puts the $200 into diversified ownership of productive companies. Monday morning, both have $200 less in cash. But only one still owns something designed to participate in future economic activity. Of course, markets fall. Companies fail. Nothing is guaranteed. That's why diversification and time matter. But the deeper lesson isn't the stock ticker. It's the transition. Consumer owner. $1 disappears after buying something. Another dollar gets a chance to keep working after you spend it. And here's where this gets interesting. Because there's one financial charge millions of people hate paying, yet somebody on the other side is very happy to receive it. Number 3, becoming the person who receives the interest. Interest, credit card interest, car loan interest, mortgage interest, personal loan interest. Most people meet interest as money leaving. You borrow $1 and somehow that dollar returns asking for friends. But every interest payment has another side. Someone receives it. For years, your financial life may look like this. You, interest, someone else. Bonds can put investors on the other side. At a simple level, a government or company needs capital. You lend money by buying a bond. Depending on the bond, you may receive interest and eventually your principal back if the issuer meets its obligations. Not flashy, But not every asset is supposed to be exciting. Some exist to provide stability or income. And the psychological shift is bigger than the product. You gradually try to spend less of your financial life permanently paying interest, and more of it owning things that may receive interest. Different side of the transaction. But right here is where videos about assets usually start feeling like finance class. So forget bonds, forget stocks. Look outside your window, because millions of people already own the next asset, and many of them will never receive a single dollar from it. Number 4, property that has a customer. Imagine 2 houses, same neighborhood, same roof, same driveway. They could even look identical, but financially, they behave completely differently. House A, you live there. Mortgage leaves, insurance leaves, taxes leave, repairs leave, money keeps going out. Nothing wrong with that. A home can provide enormous value. But House B is different. Someone else lives there and pays rent. Same category of object, completely different. Financial relationship. The second property has a customer. That's the important part. Productive assets usually have somebody on the other side willing to pay for what they provide. A tenant pays for shelter. A customer pays a business. A borrower pays a lender. A reader buys a book. The asset has an economic reason to exist. Now, rental property is not magical passive income. Roofs leak, tenants leave, taxes rise, properties can lose money, and passive income becomes extremely active when something breaks at 11:43 on Sunday night. But the mechanism still matters. Ownership plus customer equals potential cash flow. And you don't necessarily need to personally buy an entire apartment building. Real estate investment structures, such as REITs, can provide another route to ownership and income-producing property. But now you're probably thinking, okay, cash, stocks, bonds, real estate. Sounds like I need money before I can own assets. And this is where the video changes, because number 5 can begin with almost no investment capital at all. Number 5, work once, sell more than once. Imagine you're a designer. A client pays you $200. You do the work, they pay you. Finished. To make another $200, you need another client. Now change one thing. Instead of creating something for one person, you spend 10 hours creating a useful template that many people could buy. Price, $20. 10 sales, $200. 100 sales, $2,000. 1,000 sales, $20,000. Those numbers are an illustration, not a promise. Most products won't sell 1,000 copies. Some won't sell 10. But don't miss the mechanism. Sale number 100 doesn't necessarily require recreating the product from zero. Same original work. New customer, templates, books, software, spreadsheets, design files. Educational products, photography, licenses, digital tools. For the first time, you can separate the moment work happens from every moment that work gets paid. Maybe your first product earns $9. $9 sounds pathetic until you realize you didn't sell a new hour to make that $9. That's the breakthrough. The amount can grow later. The mechanism has to exist first, and the next asset takes this one step further, because sometimes yesterday's work can still be working years after you finished it. Number 6, work from years ago that still shows up today. Normally, Monday's work pays you once. Tuesday arrives, and Monday doesn't return holding another paycheck. But some work can become a library, a useful YouTube video, a book, a licensed photograph, a website, software, music, educational content. One piece may earn almost nothing. 20 pieces are different. 200 pieces? Now you have a library of things that can continue attracting viewers, customers, royalties, leads, or advertising long after the day they were created. Some will do nothing. Some bring one person. Some may suddenly become valuable again years later. That creates a better question about work. Not only, how much will this pay today? But could what I'm building today still have economic value 3 years from now? That's a completely different way to think, because wealth isn't only accumulating money, it's accumulating productive things. But there's a trap here. A person can have customers, make great money, call themselves a business owner, and still own something that stops the second they stop. Number 7 exposes that trap. Number 7, a business that doesn't panic when you take a week off. Imagine 2 cafe owners. Both earn the same profit. From the outside, they look equally successful. Owner A arrives first every morning, orders supplies, handles complaints, checks inventory, does payroll, fixes staff problems, closes the shop. Take owner A away for 2 weeks, and the business begins falling apart. Now owner B. She worked exactly like that in the beginning, maybe even harder. But over time, she started turning repeated decisions into systems. Recipes documented, managers trained, Supplier process organized, schedules created, inventory tracked, customer service standardized, marketing repeatable. Now, both owners take a week off. Owner A's revenue collapses. Owner B gets a sales report from a cafe that kept opening. Same word, business, completely different asset. Here's the test. If you stop, does everything else stop too? A freelancer can earn huge money. A consultant can earn huge money. A business owner can earn huge money. But high income and asset ownership are not automatically the same thing. A business starts behaving more like an asset when people, processes, systems, technology, and customer relationships can keep creating value without the owner personally touching every transaction. That doesn't mean no work. Usually it requires enormous work first, but the destination changes. You're not only building yourself a higher paying job, you're building something capable of operating. And now we reach number 8. But number 8 isn't really another investment. It's the thing the previous 7 have been quietly trying to teach you. Number 8, ownership. Look back. Stocks, ownership, property, ownership, digital products, ownership, intellectual property, ownership, a business, ownership. This is the idea hiding underneath wealth. Most people's financial life begins almost entirely with labor. You know something. You do something. Someone pays you. That's normal. But labor has one brutal limitation. There's only one of you. 24 hours, one body, one brain. You get tired, you get sick. You want weekends. You want time with your family. Ownership can behave differently. Imagine your job pays $5,000 a month. Your assets initially produce $30, then $100, then $400, then $1,000. Maybe years later, $2,500. You still need your job, but the relationship is changing. Then imagine one day your salary remains $5,000, while everything you own collectively produces another $5,100 during an average month. There's no guarantee you'll reach that number. There is no automatic timeline. But look at the mechanism. Labor creates capital. Capital buys productive assets. Assets may produce more capital. More capital can buy more assets. Repeat, at first you're pushing the snowball. Eventually, the snowball may develop some weight of its own. And here's where people make a huge mistake. They hear 8 assets and think, I need all 8. Tomorrow, stocks, property, business, digital products, everything. No, you don't win by collecting asset names. You win by understanding what each asset is supposed to do. Ask 4 questions. Does it produce income? Can it grow in value? What can make it lose money? And how much of my time does it still require? That last question matters because something paying you $2,000 a month while requiring 80 hours of your time may simply be a job wearing an asset costume. And before aggressively chasing assets, boring foundations still matter. Income, emergency savings, high interest debt under control, basic financial protection, monthly breathing room. Because if one emergency forces you to sell everything, that's not freedom. Now imagine your first productive asset earns $12. Nothing changes. You still go to work Monday, and another produces $40, then $100, and $350, then $800. And one day, something changes that nobody outside your house can see. Payday arrives, and you're happy, but you're not desperate for it. That's different. Your boss becomes difficult, but the fear isn't quite as strong. That's different. Your car breaks, and you hate the repair bill, but it doesn't control the next 6 months. That's different. An opportunity appears that pays slightly less, but could change your career. And for the first time, you can actually consider it. That's different. That's what productive assets eventually buy. Not just checks, options. Now go back to the question from the beginning. If you stopped working for 30 days, what would still pay you? Maybe today the answer is nothing. Then that's where you begin, because almost everything around you is competing for a piece of your next paycheck. The house wants some. The car wants some. The phone wants some. Food wants some. Subscriptions want some. Life is extremely good at creating things that take money. A productive asset stands on the other side. It asks, what can I ADD? Maybe the answer starts at $12, then $50, then $500. And eventually, if you keep converting pieces of your labor into productive ownership, your paycheck may stop carrying your financial life by itself. You work, your assets work, your previous decisions work, your previous money works. And little by little, money stops being only the reason you have to work. It starts becoming something that works for you. That's when wealth begins feeling less like a number and more like freedom.